Hello, my friends. I hope you all had a great weekend. It's Sunday night, and here I am doing another live stream. And my friends, there's a major update regarding the 2024 presidential election that I want to share with you in this live stream. So thank you for tuning in. As always, I'm going to wait for a minute or two before I get started. In the meantime, let's see who's here. My friend Terry. Terry is giving me the thumbs up. Hi, Terry. Thank you for being here. Terry already knows the update that I'm about to discuss. But Terry, don't disclose that yet. Let's wait for a minute or two, and I'm gonna get started. It's an exciting update. I think most of my viewers will like it once I reveal to you what that is. We're past 1 minute and 15 seconds. I'm going to wait for, maybe half a minute more before I get started. Sunday night, it is now 9:04 p.m. here in Wisconsin, Central Time. And let's see, my friends, when you join, please write something in the chat window. Write your name, write where you're from, just say hello, say hi. Tell us how the weather is where you are. Talk to us about the temperature. Is it cold? Is it warm? Give me a thumbs up, wave, do something, write something in the chat window. Maya Sisters is here. Hi. Maya Sisters writes, hi everyone. Hello, Maya Sisters. Thanks for joining. And we're past 2 minutes and 10 seconds. I'll wait for 15 more seconds, then I'm going to get started. Very interesting update I have that I'm going to share regarding the 2024 presidential election. Wonderful. I see more people have joined, and we're past 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So I'm going to get started. Thank you all for joining this live stream. And please write something in the chat window to let us know who's here. As you can tell by the title of this live stream, I have a major update regarding the 2024 presidential election that I want to share. And here on this channel, I'm going to share the update with you. This update, let me tell you, this update is a game changer, okay? It is a game changer. Breaking news. And I was surprised to see this update. And I thought right then and there that this evening, that is going to be the topic of my live stream. So what is that update? You may be asking. You may be wondering what's going on. My friends, let me tell you. Americans for Prosperity Action, which is a very powerful network backed by billionaire Charles Koch. Americans for Prosperity Action has stopped providing financial support to Nikki Haley's campaign. Breaking news. My friends, I saw this and I was excited, very excited. I still am. That is correct. You heard that right. A major network, a powerful network in politics, Americans for Prosperity Action, has stopped providing funding to support Haley's campaign. Bad news for the Haley campaign. Bad news one after another. For Haley's campaign, it's a series of bad news. First, she faced a series of losses on the campaign trail. And the most recent loss was perhaps the biggest loss. She lost the primary in her own home state of South Carolina. I mean, what an embarrassment. If you can't win your own home state, the state in which You served as the governor. You know, if you can't win a primary in your home state, then what's the point of going forward with the campaign? You know, what's the point? Um, so, and now, a day after her massive loss in South Carolina. So let me just go back for a second. After she lost in her home state of South Carolina yesterday, Nikki Haley, rather than being humble and, suspending her campaign, she decided that she's going to move forward. She decided that she's going to move forward with the campaign. All right, you're free to do what you want. And now, a day after her massive loss in South Carolina, Nikki Haley gets the news that Americans for Prosperity Action is pausing financial support for her campaign. Now, this must be devastating news for her. But by the way, let me share with you my personal views, okay? I think Americans for Prosperity is an excellent group. Americans for Prosperity, AFP, they're a great group. And I know there's Americans for Prosperity, and then there's Americans for Prosperity Action, and there are some, differences, legal differences and stuff, organizational differences. So, not going into the details of that. I mean, AFP, Americans for Prosperity, and, based on what I have seen, based on my interactions with AFP, I think it's an excellent group. And it's a great group, and they truly believe in freedom, and they do a lot of great work. Now, it's a wonderful group. It's a wonderful group of freedom-loving Americans. That's Americans for Prosperity. And let me tell you, Americans for Prosperity last year, so 2023, I received an invitation from Americans for Prosperity in Wisconsin to speak at one of their events. That event took place in De Pere, Wisconsin, which is northeast Wisconsin, and the topic was immigration. It was a great evening. There was the event was held at a very nice township building, great facility, and I went there. It was a nice drive from Madison, Wisconsin, up to De Pere, Wisconsin, and AFP had the room set up because I had informed ahead of time after I got the invitation that I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation. And you may be wondering what topic I spoke on. Well, I talked about immigration. So I talked about immigration and, my journey, my personal journey as an immigrant coming from Bangladesh to the United States. I shared my story. I talked about how I became a US citizen. I shared my views on immigration issues. And so it was, I think I spoke for over an hour, and it also included question and answer. So people from the audience, they asked me questions and I answered. And so, of course, I did a PowerPoint presentation, but then there was a lot of interaction. And just let me tell you, AFP, they do a great job. They are very efficient. They are wonderful people. Their team members are just really, good people, freedom-loving Americans, okay? And I really appreciated the invitation to go and speak at their event. And it was a great event. It was just a wonderful event. I do have some social media posts, pictures from the event that I posted on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. So if you scroll back to, I forget what month it was. I think I can look it up. It was last year. And you know what I'm going to do? I will look up the what month it was. So if you want to go and check out my pictures from that event. Oh, this was August. Okay, so this was August 2023 when I spoke at Americans for Prosperity's event, and the event was called Reignite the American Dream. Reignite the American Dream, right? So anyway, great event. I've got the pictures up on social media. So if you want to go and look for those, find me on Facebook, find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. Okay. So having said that, I really like AFP. I like the work that they do, and I'm happy. I am happy to see that AFP is not going to be providing any financial support to Nikki Haley. Okay, now I understand that AFP has endorsed Nikki Haley, and that's fine. Different groups can endorse different candidates based on their priorities and their mission and their vision. But the fact that AFP is pausing financial support for Nikki Haley, that's a major development. And I understand that Nikki Haley has vowed to move forward and to head towards March 5th, that is Super Tuesday. But at this point, I am really not sure how long her campaign can go on, especially after the South Carolina primary loss. I'm not sure how long her campaign can go on. I mean, any political campaign, it's driven by passion. It's driven by goals and ambitions. It's driven by dreams, right? The candidate who's running for office, whether it's a candidate running for Senate, House, State Assembly, State Senate, or running for president, whatever office a candidate is running for, the desire to move forward, the desire to launch a campaign and to go out and meet people and to do campaign appearances. It's driven by dream. A person dreams of becoming a congressman. A person dreams of becoming the president. A person dreams of becoming, the mayor of a city. But any political campaign, as much as it is driven by dreams and ambitions and goals and desires, one has to take into consideration the reality, okay? Because a campaign takes place not in a person's mind. In your mind, you can be anything, right? In your mind, you can just sit and relax and meditate and, think about anything you want. You can dream that you're the president of the country. You can dream that you are a cabinet secretary. You can dream that you are, mayor of Chicago or New York, whatever. You can dream, but in reality, when you're pursuing a political office, you have to consider, the practical aspects. You need funds to run a campaign. You need a campaign team. You need to be able to give good speeches and to have a platform and to have policy ideas that people will like. You have to have volunteers. You have to have, a feasible pathway, a realistic pathway to winning an election, right? In Haley's case, she's so far behind. I mean, it's what can I say? It's not like Trump is at 52% and Haley is at 48%. I mean, that's not what this is. It's not like, okay, Trump is at 55%, Haley is at 45%. It's a 10 percentage point difference. And, she can somehow make up this ground. No, it's the difference is huge. Trump has tremendous support. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's a reason why Ron DeSantis dropped out and endorsed Trump. There's a reason why Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out and endorsed Trump. There's a reason why Tim Scott dropped out and endorsed Trump. There's a reason why so many prominent political figures and incumbent elected officials like Lindsey Graham, Ted Cruz, why did they endorse Trump? And I'm not sure what Nikki Haley is trying to achieve. I mean, she's obviously making a statement. She's saying that, she's going to do what she wants to do. So if it's a statement of freedom, if she's showing the world that, hey, I am free to run a campaign and I'm going to run a campaign no matter what, no matter how impossible the pathway to the GOP nomination may be, I'm still going to run. If that's her mindset, then obviously she's on the right path, because we get the message. I mean, trust me, we get the message that Nikki Haley is going to run no matter what. But in doing so, she's really hurting her own political future. You know, I am a well-wisher. Trust me, I would love to see Nikki Haley in some successful position in the future. She was the governor. She was the governor of South Carolina, and she was the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and she has got a great future. So, you know, if only she would drop out, and if she doesn't want to endorse Trump, that's okay. All right, just drop out. Just let people know that you're making a wise decision. You're not seeing any practical pathway to the GOP nomination. So, why waste money? Drop out, give your volunteers a rest, encourage them to go and join the Trump campaign, right? I mean, Nikki Haley's volunteers could volunteer for the Trump campaign. That would be a much better use of time, okay? But if she did that, if she would just suspend her campaign, whether or not she endorses Trump, keeping that aside, if she suspends her campaign, she's going to earn respect because people will respect her for making the right decision. Because right now, what she's doing is pretty irrational. And, the message that the voters are getting is, do we really want to vote for someone who doesn't believe in logic, who doesn't believe in reason? Because that's what Nikki Haley is doing. Would you want somebody in the White House who doesn't believe in logic, who doesn't believe in reason? That's exactly what Nikki Haley is doing. She's going against logic. She's going against reason. She's going against statistics and data and numbers. And she continues to run. I mean, what about all those elected officials, members of Congress, members of the US Senate, who are endorsing Trump? They're endorsing Trump for a reason. And it's important for Nikki Haley to understand that. There's a reason why so many sitting elected officials are endorsing Trump. Because he's the one who can get the job done. He's the one who can secure the GOP nomination. He's the one who can do a great campaign to defeat Joe Biden. And he's the one, if he's elected again, he's the one who can fix the problems. Nikki Haley has time. She has time. She can run again in the future. She can do that. But by running now, by continuing to defy logic and reason, by continuing to go against public opinion, by continuing to go against, all those individuals who are supporting Trump, by going against this giant momentum that the Trump campaign has, by going against all of it, she's really separating herself from the Republicans. She is moving further and further and further away from the Republicans. I mean, look at what AFP did. As I said, I like AFP a lot. It's a great group. AFP fights for freedom. AFP, fights for freedom. It's, AFP is a group of freedom-loving Americans. And look at what they did. They made the right decision of withdrawing support from the Haley campaign. They are going to pause their financial support. So that decision did not, that decision was not made very lightly. For an organization like AFP to make such a decision, trust me, believe me, a lot of people had a lot of discussion behind the scenes before this decision was made public. So now Nikki Haley, what she is saying is that even after, losing AFP's financial support, she's going to continue moving forward with her campaign. And that just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. First, the South Carolina loss wasn't a strong enough message for Nikki Haley. But now, after AFP announcing its decision, I think Nikki Haley should get the message that 2024 is not the year for her. 2024, it's not the year for Nikki Haley. Every day that Nikki moves forward with her campaign, she's losing more and more support. My friends, I had previously said that Nikki should drop out and endorse Trump, but I guess that she has missed the opportunity for that. I think she has already lost a lot of support from the Republicans, and now if she drops out and endorses Trump, people will clearly understand that she is doing it just because she has no other choice. So I'm not going to even ask her to endorse Trump anymore. I think she should just drop out, go get some rest, and, recalculate the political future. That's what she should do. She should just, step aside, and just relax for a little bit. Okay. I mean, she has time. She can run again in the future. But the more she stays in this campaign, the more that she's out there trying to defeat Trump. Well, she's not going to be able to defeat Trump, but what she really is doing is she is detaching herself from the Republican grassroots voters. Let's look at the chat window here. Terry writes, how long will her volunteers want to keep working? Terry, that's a good question. I have no idea. Okay. At this point, I wonder who's even volunteering for Nikki Haley. I mean, so now that Terry mentioned that question, I really want to ask Nikki Haley volunteers, what's your end goal? I mean, if you want to just stay busy because, you're taking a break from studies, or, you're taking a break from work, or because you want to stay engaged in something. I mean, there are so many other things that one can do to stay engaged. Volunteer in the community, help out the local library, volunteer at the local place of worship, help senior citizens out. There's just, I mean, there are endless volunteer opportunities, right, in the community. Doesn't have to be anything political. You could volunteer and help out a local nonprofit, right? There are so many needs in the community. And really, if you're a Republican and you want to help the Republicans, it's time to volunteer for the Trump campaign. It's time to volunteer for the Trump campaign, or you can volunteer for your local, congressional candidate or Senate candidate or state assembly or state Senate candidate. Help out other conservatives who are running for election or re-election. There are so many different ways that one can use one's time efficiently. Use one's time for good things. So I really don't know why anyone would continue volunteering for the Nikki Haley campaign, unless, of course, they personally believe in Nikki Haley and they think that, she is the one who they want to see in the White House. Well, even for that, I think 2024 is not the year. Nikki can run again in 2028 if she wants, but this is not the year. Let me look at the chat window. Yeah, so Terry has a valid point. Terry writes, she's not hearing what the people want now. What makes us think she'll listen to us if she wins anything? Great point, Terry. Great point. If like I said a few minutes ago, if she is disregarding logic and reason and statistics and data and polls and surveys, knowing that she has no practical pathway to the GOP nomination, and she still keeps running, that shows not so great judgment, right? And so for an American voter looking at Nikki Haley continuing to run in spite of major losses, series of losses, a voter is going to scratch his head and say, well, why should I vote for Nikki Haley when what she's doing right now really makes no sense? And that's why I say she's burning bridges. And if she continues campaigning, what's going to I mean, she's free to do that, but what's going to happen really is she's going to lose Republicans support. And 4 years from now, people are going to remember what's happening now. People are going to remember. I mean, we remember 2016. We remember, John Kasich. We remember, Ted Cruz. We remember, other candidates who were running. We remember 2020. And, I remember, 2008. I remember the 2008 election. So people don't forget easily. We remember our favorite candidates. We remember the candidates we did not like. We remember who we voted for, who we did not vote for. We remember the folks who were on the debate stage. We even remember some of the famous, lines that some presidential candidates said in the past. I remember a lot of things from the 2008 election when there were those presidential debates. And so that's the whole point. People don't forget. And if Haley continues to run in this campaign, she's really, it's really hurting her political future. That's in simple words, that's what I'm going to say. Which Republican is going to vote for her when she runs again? Let's say in 2028, it's Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Nikki Haley running. Okay, let's just say these three individuals are running for president. Why would anyone not support DeSantis, not support Vivek, and support Haley? Because Republicans are going to remember that Ron DeSantis endorsed Trump, dropped out and endorsed Trump. People are going to remember that Vivek Ramaswamy dropped out and endorsed Trump. And people are going to remember that Haley did not drop out and she kept running against Trump in spite of knowing that she doesn't have a pathway to the GOP nomination. So then, who do you think the Republicans will support? Why will they support Haley? They won't. They're going to support either Vivek or Ron DeSantis. So that's the point. I am just one voice, but there are other voices out there, and I bet there are many other people out there who are thinking the way that I am thinking. I mean, why is Nikki Haley still running? But then again, it's a free country. If she wants to do that, she can. But AFP Action pausing their financial support, that should send a strong message to Nikki Haley that, hey, 2024 is really not your year. Okay, and so, my friends, following AFP Action's decision, Nikki Haley's campaign said that the fight continues, meaning that they will continue campaigning. This is really a campaign with no real goal. As I said, Haley is not going to be the GOP nominee. So what's really the end goal here? I don't know. She's just making a statement, I think. I think AFP made the right decision by withdrawing financial support. I respect AFP for that. And as I said, Americans for Prosperity is a great group, wonderful organization. They're always fighting for limited government and more freedom. So those are the things I wanted to say. We are past the 28-minute time mark. I'm in no hurry, so I if you have questions, you can ask me. If you have thoughts you want to share, you can let me know. All right. Terry writes, maybe she's trying to impress Kennedy Jr. to become his VP. I don't know. Well, okay. All right, Terry. Then we have to talk about RFK Jr. All right. Now, RFK Jr., he's from the Kennedy family. Kennedy is one of the most, the name Kennedy is one of the most prominent names in American political history. Okay. And so RFK Jr., he's running third-party candidate. The question there is, who is he going to take the votes away from? That's what people say. Well, is RFK Jr. going to take votes away from Trump or Biden? Well, as I have said before, a candidate really doesn't take votes away from anyone. You have to earn the vote, right? But I understand that kind of thought process that, okay, if there are swing voters, are there some lean liberal voters who may end up voting for RFK Jr.? Are there some lean conservative voters who are going to end up voting for RFK Jr. So that's what really people mean when they say RFK Jr. is going to take votes away from whom? Trump or Biden? Now, I don't know what's going to happen. And it'll be interesting to see RFK Jr. I mean, really, I hesitate to make any predictions here because I don't know. I don't know how many percent of the votes RFK Jr. will get. And yeah, well, I know I'm voting for Trump. Okay. So there's no question about that. And, it'll be nice. So I think I have mentioned this before. It'll be nice to see Trump, Biden, and RFK Jr. do a three-way debate. I think that'll be interesting. And it will likely end up helping RFK Jr. more because he's going to get, more, a bigger platform. Because as an independent candidate, it's really hard. We are still very much a two-party system. And for a third-party candidate, for an independent to gain any kind of momentum, it's pretty hard, especially at the presidential level. And so it'll be nice to see a three-way debate. Okay, Terry writes, CPAC straw vote for VP. Okay, Terry. I actually published a podcast episode. I published it earlier today in which I talked about the CPAC straw poll for VP. Okay, so if you have not watched that video, please watch it. It's probably, I don't know how long it is. It's over 10 minutes long. It's a good episode. You're gonna like it. But I can share the data here. Let me just see one thing. Okay. So I have the data here. I had printed it out. So let me tell you what happened. So at CPAC, which is the Conservative Political Action Conference, okay, a wonderful event, and it brings together conservative strategists, activists, grassroots supporters from all over the country. Conservatives from all over the country, they go to CPAC, and it's just an exciting event. Really energizes conservatives before an election. So there was a straw poll for who Trump should pick as VP, okay? And guess who won that? It's actually not one person. Two individuals each got 15% of the votes in the straw poll. One of them is Kristi Noem, South Dakota governor, and the other person is former presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. So Kristi Noem got 15% of the votes. Vivek Ramaswamy got 15% of the votes. And then, guess who's next? 9% of the votes went to Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat congresswoman from Hawaii. She got 9%. So she came in number second. South Carolina, Senator Tim Scott. Tim Scott received 8% of the votes. Okay? So right behind Tulsi Gabbard. So he's at number 4. And then Byron Donalds, congressman from Florida, he got 7% of the votes. And so clearly, Kristi Noem and Vivek Ramaswamy are on top of the list, each with 15% of the votes. And so, as I mentioned in my podcast episode, I think people want someone who is relatively younger. I mean, Vivek is definitely young, and Kristi Noem also. She's fairly young. I mean, and I think if I remember correctly, she may be in her early 50s, which is pretty young when you look at the political arena. I mean, you look at Washington. You look at the elected officials in Washington. There are many who are senior citizens, not just senior citizens. They are very, very senior. Okay. And so, from that standpoint, Kristi Noem, fairly young, Vivek Ramaswamy, fairly young. So, people want young and energetic candidates for VP. Okay. And we have a diverse group on Trump's shortlist. I mean, Trump mentioned 6 names on his shortlist for VP. Doesn't mean that he's only considering those 6 individuals. There may be other names that he's not publicly mentioning, but he mentioned Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy, Kristi Noem, Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, and Tulsi Gabbard. Okay, when you look at these 6 individuals, it's a pretty diverse group, and you know the Democrats, they like to say that Republicans are not a diverse group, but in reality, the Republicans have a lot of diversity in the party. And so on Trump's shortlist, you can see diversity, and the CPAC straw poll with Vivek and Kristi Noem, you've got a young you know businessman, and then you've got Kristi Noem, a fairly young governor, and it's like the Republicans, they want energy. They want to see a vice presidential candidate who is going to do great in the vice presidential debate against Kamala Harris. Let's remember that whoever is chosen as the vice presidential candidate is going to be, likely going to be engaging in a vice presidential debate against Kamala Harris. And so, just think about that debate, and who would you like to see debating Kamala Harris? Okay, pick your favorite candidate. So, CPAC folks, the attendees there, those who voted in the straw poll, they picked 15% votes went to Kristi Noem, 15% to Vivek Ramaswamy. So, interesting. We still don't know who Trump is going to pick for VP. As I keep saying, there are more questions than answers, but I trust that Trump is going to make the right decision. Now the question is, will the CPAC straw poll results influence Trump? Will the results influence Trump's decision? Because Trump knows that the CPAC attendees are solid Republicans, and so if they're making their voices heard through the straw poll, if they are saying, "Hey, pick Vivek or Kristi Noem," pick Vivek or Kristi Noem, so maybe that will influence Trump's decision. I don't know. I don't know, but I think both Kristi Noem and Vivek Ramaswamy are great, and Tim Scott, I mean, truly amazing U.S. Senator. Byron Donalds, he's just a wonderful congressman. Tulsi Gabbard, former Democrat, she walked away from the Democrat Party. And she's quite popular among conservatives now. So it'll be interesting to see if Trump chooses her. That's all I have for today, my friends. I see we're approaching the 40-minute mark. My friend Terry writes Kristi Noem for VP. So Terry has made up her mind. Terry knows who she wants to see as VP. Kristi Noem, my friend Terry from South Dakota. And South Dakota is where Kristi Noem is the governor. Very popular, wonderful governor. I'll be very happy if it's Kristi Noem. But then, there are some other names. Ellie Stefanik, Carrie Lake. Who knows? As I've said before, maybe there are other names that are not even being mentioned. Who knows? We don't know. Let's check the chat window. Terry writes, would RNC require Tulsi to become Republican to run as VP? I don't know, Terry. I don't know. Very interesting question. I don't know what the rules are governing that process. Good question for the RNC. I'm very curious. Terry writes, watch Noem's speech at CPAC. I will do that. I have not been able to watch Kristi Noem's speech at CPAC, but it's on my list of things to do. I will do that. Perhaps later tonight or maybe tomorrow, but I'm going to watch that speech. So, Terry, thank you for pointing that out. We are now, oh, Terry writes she's 52. Yep, as I said, she's in her early 50s. I didn't know the exact age, but Terry writes she's 52. So Christy Noem's 52 years old, which is fairly young, in politics. So, my friends, that's all I have for today. Thank you for tuning in. Sunday night. I appreciate your time. We're past the 40-minute mark. It's always wonderful to come to the live stream and to share my thoughts and comments with you. Like I said, I may be the only one speaking, but I think of this as a conversation because I like to see your comments. I like to see your questions, and I like to engage. So I appreciate the fact that you all join the live stream. You're watching my videos and you're sharing your thoughts, your comments. I appreciate that very, very much. Now, I see a lot of comments. Maybe I've missed someone. Did I miss anyone's comments here? I see Sheriff of YouTube is here. Sheriff of YouTube, thank you for joining. And there's a viewer named Number One Fan. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you all being here. Maya Sisters, thank you. And my friend Terry, thank you so much, Terry from South Dakota, for joining. And I'm going to end this live stream, but I'll be back with more videos and more live streams. And as always, I just want to request one request. Please, if you like my videos, share these videos with your friends, your family members, your neighbors. You can copy the link to my video, post it on your Facebook page, on your Twitter page, share my videos with your friends. Help me reach more people. I would appreciate that. And ask your friends, family members, and neighbors to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you all once again. Have a wonderful night. And I'll be back again with more videos, more live streams. Thank you so much. Good night.